went 5-4, but they won 5 of their final 7. In his first year as head coach in Seattle, replacing Mike Holmgren as Jim Mora, his second go-round as a head coach. In 2004, led Atlanta to its second ever NFC Championship game.
And like we talked about in the open, Tom, didn't you get a sense from both teams that they both fully understood the importance of this game? A divisional win in a division that typically you can win at 9-7, as did the Arizona Cardinals last year. Both very happy about their opening season wins. They know it's on today.
Seattle won the toss, selected to receive. Joe Nedney spins it away. This is Josh Wilson from the 8-yard line. And run out of bounds at the 21. "33-year-old Westwood, Massachusetts native Matt Hasselbeck is a 3-time Pro Bowler. 59 wins, second only to Dave Craig in franchise history. He played in just 7 games a season ago with back problems. This is Julius Jones, who carried for over 100 yards in the opening game win against the Rams last weekend. And take a look at the rest of the starting lineups. And again, they continue to juggle their offensive line, minus the 9-time Pro Bowler Walter Jones.
But they have confidence in this offensive line, and they would love to get their running game cranked up like they did last week. Julius Jones over 100 yards rushing last week against St. Louis.
Short drop, incomplete. He had an eye on John Owens, the backup tight end to Carlson. Defensively for San Francisco, very impressive, very physical a week ago in Arizona.
Well, it was that physicality that Seattle talked much about, and the fact we talked about Patrick Willis. Manny Lawson is someone that needs now to step up. They've narrowed his focus, get to the passer. They're going to need that kind of pressure against Matt Hasselbeck.
3rd and 7. Down goes Hasselbeck. Ray McDonald, the 3rd-year defensive tackle out of the University of Florida. He had a sack last week, and they're hoping for a big year from McDonald.
Well, you can see here, you love it when you can get an inside presence in your pass rush. Right in the face of the quarterback, steps up, and there now you've got McDonald standing right there. That's the vogue thing in the NFL right now, getting pressure not only from the outside, but right in the face of the quarterback in the middle.
John Ryan punts from his own 5. And a good punt by Ryan, chasing Allen Rossum all the way back to the 15. And he brings it out to the 28-yard line. So the 49ers get the football for the first time after this 67-yard punt by Ryan. They give it to Frank Gore. He had a very quiet season opener. 22 rushes for just 30 yards. His longest run of the game was 6 yards. They were very predictable, a plodding offense through the first 3 quarters, then really opened it up in that 4th quarter to beat the Cardinals on the road.
You know, the offensive line for the San Francisco 49ers, Eric Heitman has become really one of the better centers in the league, and he anchors that group.
Short drop by Hill. That's Vernon Davis. Cuts it back to the inside. Still on his feet. Out to the 44. A gain of 17 on the catch by Vernon Davis.
Well, this is what they want to do with Vernon Davis. The fastest player on the San Francisco 49er roster. Highly efficient, quick throw to Vernon Davis, and then let him use that sheer raw athleticism and the speed. Those are the kind of throws that offensive coordinator Jimmy Ray would love to get to this young man.
Blown dead before it ever got started. Frank Gore clapping, believing it was Corey Redding who jumped too soon.
Number 94 defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There was some debate about the availability of Lopa Tatupu, who left the game last week against St. Louis with a hamstring injury. And really a game time decision. Jim Moore told us, you know, Tatupu, obviously a tough guy, 3-time Pro Bowler, has led him in tackles all 4 years in the league.
And he didn't need a lot of practice time all week for Jim Moore to still be comfortable with him starting.
Gore right up the gut into Seattle territory to the 47. Appears to be about a yard shy of the first down. Tripped up by Red Bryant. We take a look at Seattle defensively. They're without Brandon Mebane. He injured his calf this week in practice. So Craig Terrell starts along the defensive front, and no Leroy Hill. He will not play again until at least the first week of November, replaced by Will Herring.
We'll watch Josh Grant, number 24. He's going to be the guy that builds that proverbial 8-man box to stop this San Francisco run.
Gore for a first down to the 42. For Seattle, among the most, if not the most injured team in all of football in 2008. A rare first down pass for Hill, looking for Isaac Bruce. And really, he may have saved an interception there by Ken Lucas by knocking it down. They pitch it to Gore. And a nice play made in the open field by Ken Lucas. A gain of 2, 3rd and 8 upcoming for the 49ers on their opening drive after shutting down the Seahawks 3 and out to start the game.
Yeah, it's going to fall on this young man's shoulder. He's going to see people stacking the box play after play, putting 8 and 9 men on the line of scrimmage to test him to see if he can make those throws down the field to get to the receiving core. Obviously, he's going to want to go to Vernon Davis, but he's going to have to obviously get to Isaac Bruce and wide receiver Josh Morgan as well.
Len Coffey is checked into the game for the first time. Caught by Davis all the way to the 25 and a first down. They still can't bring him down.
Again, Vernon Davis, you've got Josh Morgan coming on the outside here, clearing out along with Arnez Battle. Clearing it out for underneath now, dragging. We can't see him, just coming to frame. Vernon Davis dragging underneath from the offside of the formation. Nice job by quarterback Sean Hill stepping up into the pocket and keeping the play alive on a key 3rd down.
Gore. Better running room this time, and he slips his way inside the 20 down to the 19. Got a big block from Joe Staley, a gain of 6.
Frank Gore, I will tell you this, around the league, there you can see Joe Staley, top draft choice on that left side, this building offensive line. Frank Gore is one of the most respected, tough running backs by coaches around the league because he's always getting you positive yards.
Inside the red zone. Scored on 2 of 3 trips last week in Arizona. Gore. First down and more to the 14. The heart of the 49ers offense for the last 4 seasons. 3 straight years, the first Niner ever to rush for better than 1,000 yards.
Just have a little counter-o play here, working his feet. He's Biden very patient on a counter play. When you pull the guard, you got to wait for the hole to open, and then you can see the pad level I was talking about that gets Frank Gore those constant positive yards.
This time they give it to Coffey, the rookie out of Alabama, and he loses a yard. Aaron Curry, the outstanding rookie linebacker out of Wake Forest, The 4th overall pick in this year's draft. Boy, what a tenacious, tough defender he is going to be for a long time.
Yeah, he is. They've got to decide what his role is going to be. A little like Manny Lawson for the San Francisco 49ers. They're asking him to do a lot of things. Some people would say, hey, just every snap that he's not rushing the passer, you're not utilizing him in the best way possible.
Hill, great protection. And the catch is made, minimal gain, by Michael Robinson.
You know, we've already talked about the depth of the Seattle Seahawks, Tom, and how they're a bit depleted. It's a hot day, unusually hot day in the Bay Area today. This kind of drive, not only is it great for the San Francisco 49ers, but we're going to see this show up in the 4th quarter possibly in terms of the fatigue that the Seattle Seahawks with their depleted numbers might experience.
3rd and 9. We'll call it 3rd and 10. And Hill is sacked back at the 19 by Patrick Kearney. 2 years ago, he led the NFC in sacks, and then last year had 5 of them in the first 7 games before getting hurt.
Here's Sean Hill again. Offensive coordinator Jimmy Ray said he loves the way that Sean Hill is crafty, can make things happen. Here he drifts to the right. You can see him running right into the tackle. If he had to climb the pocket, move up within the body of the pocket, he might have been able to buy some more time to make the throw.
37-yard field goal try for Joe Nedney. Good snap, good hold, and the San Jose, California native bangs it through. It is really warm here in the Bay Area today. Temperatures in parts up around 90 degrees. Now they tell us by the bay, of course, it's only about 70. It feels a lot warmer than that. 13 plays, 8 minutes that Seattle defense was on the field. And Nedney, the 37-yard field goal to give the Niners a 3-0 lead. Josh Wilson from the 5. And a better return this time. We're back at Candlestick Park. The Niners in front 3-0. 5:33 to play in the opening quarter. And the Seahawks with the football from their own 31. Nate Burleson, healthy again and hoping for a big year, is out to the 37-yard line. That'll be a gain of close to 6.
You know, obviously Seattle wants to take the ball down and score. That's one of those stupid, obvious statements we make. More important, they got to get a first down. The last thing they want to do here is go 3 and out and make their defense go right back to the field.
Julius Jones broke a couple of tackles, and then Patrick Willis runs him down shy of a first down. 3rd down upcoming. Some of the numbers from early action in week 2 of the NFL season. Take a look at Drew Brees and New Orleans.
Wow, 48 points on that Philadelphia defense.
Brees has 9 touchdown passes this year. A big day for Kurt Warner. In Arizona's win, Atlanta trying to go to 2-0.
Rex Ryan and the Jets. How about that?
Yep. Cincinnati, a stunner in Green Bay, and Tennessee in danger of going to 0-2 after losing just 3 games all of last year. Seattle has to spend a timeout. 3rd and 2. Seneca Wallace lines up out of the shotgun at quarterback and then hands it off, and they cash in on the first down on the carry by Justin Forsett. Where Seattle got off to a miserable start in the opening quarter last week. Of Matt Hasselbeck's first 9 throws, 2 were intercepted. He had 3 turnovers all told in the opening quarter and then got it rolling. Batted in the air and nearly intercepted. That's the second time a short pass has gone right through the midst of John Owens.
But both those passes were high, and you hate that as a coach, because when a ball is thrown high, that's exactly what happens. It gets bounced up into the air, and that's when you all of a sudden see the other colored jersey comes up with the ball.
Julius Jones trying to turn the corner. And a swarming Niner defense led by Manny Lawson, and coming in behind him to run Jones out of bounds was Michael Lewis, a loss of 3. Well, if you've been out and about, some of the big headlines from earlier today in the National Football League. Look at Matt Schaub. Chris Johnson nearly 200 yards rushing, 16 carries. And Andre Johnson, what an outstanding wide receiver he is. Forsett on 3rd down is denied first down yardage. So they got 1 first down on this drive, but now the Seahawks are forced to punt it away.
Well, as I said at the beginning of the drive, they had to at least get 1 first down to get that defense off the field for a while. But San Francisco's got to feel very good about getting all but giving up the 1 first down to Seattle. Now their rested offense is going to come back on the field. I'd look for San Francisco to really pound away and continue to try to wear down this Seattle defense.
Lawson comes up to get it, and lots of room in front of him, and then runs into his own man and runs the wrong way. A very good start in the head coaching career of the man you hired coming back into the coaching ranks as a linebackers coach with the Baltimore Ravens. Mike Singletary has won 6 of his first 10, and the 2 head coaches prior to him not that good.
Well, you're talking about an organization rich in tradition, yet not having won a season in 6 years. He does have to change the culture here in the San Francisco 49ers.
First down from the 21. Gore into the open field. He has 2 men to beat to the 25, the 20, towards the corner, touchdown. '79-yard touchdown run for Gore, a career best. And they go up the gut the very first play. Lofa Tatupu is out of the game.
Well, they had as many people down in that defensive front as you could get, and to have Frank Gore crank one off like this when you have 8 and 9 guys stacked up specifically to stop the run, this is huge for the San Francisco 49ers.
We wondered about Tatupu's availability. He played on the first defensive series. The Niners had 21 rushing yards in the game, the lowest total a San Francisco team has ever had in a win. And here they are today, and already 101 rushing yards, and we're not even through a quarter. Wilson from the 2. Well, the 49ers are all over the field.
Tom, this is what I'm talking about. You can see here, and you hear the term all the time, 8 guys in the box. You can't see outside right now. Deion Grant just standing there. There are 8 guys packed in here because, as we said, they're going to make Shaun Hill beat them. And when you shove 8 guys into the perimeter of the defense there, and still Frank Gore cranks off a 79-yard touchdown, that devastates you as a defense.
They hand it to Edgerrin James, his first carry of the afternoon. They got 1 carry last week, his longest being 8, a total of 11 rushes for Edgerrin James. But look at the first quarter numbers thus far, dominated on both sides of the ball by the 49ers.
Well, there's not a team in America wouldn't want those numbers. Obviously, establishing the run, the physicality that it dictates. Seattle can't get too far away from their balance, even though they're down 10-0.
Dangerous throw by Hasselbeck into double coverage. Third and 6.
Well, like last week, we talked about it. Quarterback Matt Hasselbeck starting out. Greg Knapp bringing in a bit of a new system for Seattle. And I think we're seeing a bit of that newness here in that he's changed some of the verbiage. It's at heart still the West Coast offense, but a lot of new verbiage for Matt Hasselbeck and this offense to learn.
Burleson in motion. They throw it to him, and it's dropped 3 and out for the Seahawks. I don't know how you couldn't come away anything but very impressed with the San Francisco defense last week against Arizona, the reigning NFC champions. They just shut that offense down all day.
And when you have that kind of success, momentum is a force multiplier, and it just builds and builds. And right now, the San Francisco 49er defense is feeling that momentum.
Another big boot by Ryan. They fake the reverse. Rossum still has the football, and only the punter to beat. Flag comes down across the 25. He'll take it to the end zone, but there are 2 flags on the play. We'll see if the punt return for a touchdown of 75 yards stands or not. We also have an injured Seahawk. That's Ben Obamanu, a wide receiver for the Seahawks, who's down at the 30.
Alan Rossum wondering, you got to kidding me, man. I just ran 80 yards and this thing's coming back. Ben Levy giving us the call here.
Okay. During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 29 receiving team. Personal foul, number 22 of the receiving team. That penalty is declined. The illegal block in the back will be enforced from the spot of the foul. First down.
And that was the man, Nate Clements, whom they faked the reverse on, number 22, after Rossum caught the ball.
You can see here it's going to come in, and we just went past it right there. That little bit of shove. I'm not sure that we needed the shove. Normally you'd coach a player in that position to just use your body. Couldn't see the other one, but that first one, you coach the player to basically almost put your hands up in the air, and like a pick in basketball, just use your body presence. It was that last little shove, the extension of the arms, that I think they got him for.
Good to see. It appears Obamanu is okay. Jim Mora told us yesterday, with all the injuries to the defense and forcing some of his key special teams players to now be taken off some of the coverage units to play regularly on defense, and clearly they were short there even with an illegal block.
Here you can see that second shot that we didn't see earlier coming in from the side right there. Guy kind of ear holes him. I'm not sure that wasn't just a shock to the system. It's good to see he's okay. I don't know that anything's hurt but his pride.
Bill to throw on first down. Moran Norris back as a 49er after leaving last season and spending a year with Detroit. Dropped by Deion Grant.
Well, the offensive leaders for the 49ers, you know, right there, you can look at a lot of things, but you don't have to go past right there. First quarter, 103 yards by Frank Gore. You can see we're already getting Vernon Davis involved into the offense. The perfect balance, just what San Francisco wants to start the game with.
And again, no Lofa Tatupu. He's replaced by number 57, David Hawthorne. Played nicely that time by Corey Redding, coming off the end to make the tackle. Third down and 9 for the 49ers.
Well, Sean Hill, I'd be surprised if within the next couple plays we don't see a hard play action with a vertical shot down the field. The way Seattle continues to account for the run. They just got gashed for 79 yards and a touchdown. They can't afford to have this thing shoved down their throat. Offensive coordinator Jimmy Ray play actioning, getting the big play down the field, may be dialed up here pretty soon after we get this first down on a 3rd and 9.
Hill will be tackled after a gain of a yard by Craig Terrell. So that will be the final play of the opening quarter. Back with the coach, Brian Billick in San Francisco. Okay, 10-0 49ers. Let's go back to your offensive coordinator days. If you're Seattle right now, what are you thinking offensively?
Well, you can't panic. You can't wad up the game plan, put it in your back pocket yet. You've got to stay with what you thought was going to be good coming in. Right now, San Francisco's just playing at a different pace.
On first down, Hasselbeck sets up the screen and read beautifully by the 49ers defensively. Well, clearly that's not the first down yardage they were hoping for, or a lack thereof.
Well, it's just what we were talking about, that slow them down. Right now, San Francisco's playing at a higher pace. So if you want to slow someone down, let's throw a screen at them. You can see what Greg Knapp was doing with that first call.
So a second down after a loss of 5, 2nd and 15. And Hasselbeck has a wide open tight end across the middle out to the 43-yard line. First catch today by John Carlson, who led the team in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns last year. So 1st and 15, Jones. Close to the 40-yard line. A gain of 2.
Well, offensive coordinator Greg Knapp is scratching his head right now. Right now, he doesn't feel like he's in any kind of rhythm. I don't know where he is on his proverbial opening 25 plays, but he's got to feel disjointed right now because his team looks and feels disjointed.
4 receivers set on 2nd and 13. And this is T.J. Houshmandzadeh, very close to a first down, needed to get to the 48-yard line. He's a yard short.
Now Greg Knapp spread them out. Now if he can get a first down here, he's got 1 first down. He's kind of overcome a long 1st and 15 because the penalty converts on this very short 3rd and 1. Maybe that's the rhythm they're looking for.
First down. Owen Schmidt leading the way for Julius Jones, and they'll move the chains. Last week, 21 yards rushing for the entire game for the Niners.
And a Seattle team that had a $167 running the ball, and you look at the numbers, you can see exactly why we're where we're at. This might be a down for a hard play action and a vertical shot down the field.
Play action, vertical shot down the field. And a juggling catch made by Houshmandzadeh. You used to call plays for a living, didn't you?
Well, not enough of those, obviously. That's why I'm doing the games up here. But you can tell now here it's just a matter of a hard play fake. You know you've got a good first down. Defenses typically going to stop the run on first down. These balls are going a little high by Mike Hasselbeck. I don't know what the issue is. He knows he's healthy coming off the back injury, but his balls seem to be a little high. Twice to the tight end, even that one. T.J. Houshmandzadeh, great job pulling it down.
From the 32, and they hand it off to Justin Griffin, his first carry of this season, and picks up maybe a yard.
Seattle finally getting into a tempo. We heard the San Francisco coaches talk about the challenge for them is to keep up with the tempo of the Seattle offense. Now this last drive, or this current drive, is the first time we've seen a bit of that tempo and rhythm by the Seattle offense.
Julius Jones on the delay and spins his way inside the 20 down to the 19. 3rd down upcoming.
Julius Jones came in here from the Dallas Cowboys, had to split time with Marion Barber, wanted to come someplace where he feels like he is the guy.
Sean Locklear, the starting left tackle, has been taken out of the game. They're already short on that offensive line with the injury to Jones. Jump ball for Houshmandzadeh. And incomplete. Step for step, Shawntae Spencer.
Curious call on a 3rd and relatively short. That's a low percentage throw, obviously. Obviously, they were looking for a matchup, thought they got the matchup they liked. I don't know what the other options were for Matt Hasselbeck, but right now, Greg Knapp's asking the proverbial question, what did you see? What made you go to the fade?
36-yard field goal try. Orlando Mara, good snap, good hold, good kick.
Greg Knapp, Matt Hasselbeck trying to identify what it is they just did so they can come back and do the same thing. Started out slowly last week, Tom, against St. Louis. Had 2 interceptions before he came back and threw 3 touchdown passes. Trying to see if they can find that rhythm we're talking about and duplicate it next time they're up.
10:04 to play in the second quarter. Murray hammers one through the end zone. 10:04 to play until halftime. Sellout crowd on hand at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the home opener for the 49ers. And the Seahawks, after a disappointing 2008 season, trying to get back on track. They had won 5 divisional championships under Mike Holmgren. Pitch it to Gore, and a close to the first down. We'll call it a gain of 9. Tackle made by Darryl Tapp. Second down and a yard, incomplete to Isaac Bruce.
I'm a little surprised with that call because I would think right now San Francisco would like to recapture that emotional dominance they had prior to the Seattle drive. Had a nice 9-yard gain. I would have expected, and if they can get a first down here, for San Francisco to try to reestablish that physical pace to wear this Seattle defense down.
A great start for Gore. 113 rushing yards. He's carried for over 1,000 yards in 3 straight seasons. And out of the eye. They pitch it. Same play they ran a moment ago. And another big gain. This one close to 12 and a first down.
This is just a matter of one play leading to another play. You saw the exact same play to run to start the drive. You're just faking the dive in here. It's 3rd and 1. How can you not give it to the fullback? Everybody commits to it, has eyes on the fullback, and that gets Frank Gore around the edge. Again, if you're going to play in this offense, you've got to be able to block as a wide receiver. Young receiver Josh Morgan doing a great job on a 3rd and 1.
First down throw. Glenn Coffey out of the backfield and appears to have enough for another first down. It is.
Sean Hill, coordinator Jimmy Ray talked about how crafty. He used that word about Sean Hill, how crafty he was. Watch the throw here. Not a classic delivery, kind of a 3/4 armed delivery. Jimmy Ray talked about the thing he liked about Sean Hill is that he could get the ball out in a number of different ways in a number of different positions, no matter what his body position. You saw one there.
Another first down throw, and this time sacked back to the 45 is Hill. Wrapped up by Lawrence Jackson in his second year out of SC. He had a sack in the win against St. Louis last week.
Well, anytime a team crosses the 50-yard line, like San Francisco had just done, you think in terms of here comes the vertical. Gus Bradley obviously dialing up a defense that says, I know you're pounding it at me, but I think you're going to take a vertical shot here, so I'm going to get in a passive defense, and quarterback Sean Hill had no place to go.
Second down, Hill lost to a wide open Isaac Bruce and off his fingertips.
That's one of those quarterbacks, Sean Hill. He's not gonna say anything to Isaac Bruce. But that's one of those. What else can I do? Perfectly thrown ball. cleaned out the underneath route, swabbed it out by the right side. Isaac Bruce isn't going to drop too many of those balls.
Do you come back as a coordinator and run that exact same play again, 3rd and long?
You might flip it on the other side. You don't want the same corners to see the same route read, but flip it around and run it against the corner and the safety on the other side.
Well, let's see what they do here, 3rd and 17. They fake the handoff to Gore. They set up the screen to Gore. Boy, what a hardy collision close to the 45-yard line, but the punting unit out on the field for the Niners. The sack by Lawrence Jackson stalls a good start to that drive.
This is the area of the field where you see Andy Lee. We watched him practice those rugby kicks. And that's basically dropping the nose of the football. It's kind of an odd look to it to get that backward spin. We'll see if he wants to use it here.
End over end punt. Will it check up? Yes. Wow. Can't do any better than that.
This is what we were talking about before the break. Watch how he puts the nose of the ball down. And this causes a rotation. You can see he's kicking it almost on the tip of the ball. That brings a reverse rotation, and now you can see the way it hits and bounces back into the field of the play that allows you to down the ball on the 3-yard line.
Julius Jones back to the line of scrimmage on 1st down. Great protection. Now Hasselbeck flushed out of the pocket and is run out of bounds at the 6-yard line. So 3rd and 8 upcoming in the shadow of their own end zone.
And when you're inside your own 10-yard line and you don't convert a 1st down, the percentages of the team coming back and scoring are very, very high. San Francisco 49er fans very aware of that right now.
Not going to do it.
That young man right there is one of the Patrick Willis, one of the best young linebackers. Reminds a lot of people of another 52, Ray Lewis, including Mike Singletary, his head coach, who coached Ray Lewis for me in Baltimore.
Does he remind you of Ray Lewis?
Yes, he does. He's got that quick transition from seeing, recognizing, and then pulling the trigger and making the play.
Ball will be down at the 42-yard line. And that's exactly what they did for their head coach. How about that call? And like a cannonball, Moran Norris inside the 30 to the 28. It's a gain of 14.
Mike Singletary knows, as we said earlier, he's got to change the culture. Mike Singletary, anybody that knows Mike Singletary, has watched Mike Singletary, knows he's about passion, he's about accountability, and right now he's got his guys drinking the Kool-Aid.
Leading 10-3. Gore for a yard. We're under 4.5 to play until halftime. Of course, as a player, Mike Singletary, a Hall of Famer, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year during his 12 seasons in Chicago. Played for that 84's Bear team that just lights out.
That's got it. That's what you call a complete resume.
Indeed. And now would like to really complete the circle, if you will, by coaching this franchise to a Super Bowl title one day. Pump fake one way, batted at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Colin Cole got a paw on it.
You know, for a big quarterback, Sean Hill, and he's every bit of 6'3.5", 6'4", has that three-quarter delivery we talked about. that leaves him a little vulnerable. Now he's getting pressure up the middle, but just the angle, the way the throw comes out, makes him a little vulnerable, like that throw of the ball getting batted back down.
All right, what do you like here on 3rd and 10?
Well, right now I'm going to Vernon Davis. That's my best matchup on the field. You got some presence on the outside. Well, no matter who you have, right here, Vernon Davis, he's looking to see, is it man or zone? He knows right now it's zone because no one went with him.
Little shovel pass to Gore gets him to the 25. So they play conservatively and will send out the field goal unit. Kearney read that play beautifully.
Well, spreading them out, hoping that the defense got too spread thin to be able to slip that in. Of course, if he can convert on the field goal here, you're going to take it back to a 2-score game. So obviously a priority for Mike Singletary and offensive coordinator Jimmy Ray.
Joe Nedney from 42 yards out. Out of the hold of Andy Lee. Perfect. So the lead swells to 10. Wilson from the 8-yard line. And a pretty good return out to the 30. So plenty of time for Matt Hasselbeck. 2:51 to play, and the Seahawks have 2 timeouts remaining. See, Hasselbeck has hit on 5 of 11. The running game very quiet against this stout 49er defense. Bushmanzada a pair of catches.
And that mostly on the one catch, that 34 yards. So you can tell by those numbers, there's just not a lot happening for Seattle right now.
Take it one way. What a collision there. Ray Bly. Safe throw to Carlson. And run out of bounds by Deshaun Goldson. His first year as a starter at free safety, replacing Mark Roman.
Now, you don't like that as a coach, because with 2:43, the ball out of bounds, you just save some time if you don't convert here on 3rd down for the 49er drive that will ensue.
Need to get to the 40 for a first down. And Hasselbeck's going to run it and get there. Out to the 43, 2:15 and counting. Looks like they're going to take this down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I don't know they're going to get a shot out here. They'd like to. They'd like to have gotten one more play. Greg Knapp saying, hurry, hurry, hurry. If he can get this thing off, that'll be a big benefit to them.
They get it off. Pump fake. Forsett out of the backfield, a gain of 8. So 1:57 to play. 1:57 to play until halftime. The Seahawks down 10. And Bushmanzada on 2nd down converts a first down to the 49ers 46-yard line, and Seattle in hurry-up mode.
This is where the new verbiage that we talked about that Seattle's running is going to show up.
Lofted for Burleson. Nice touch on that Hasselbeck pass. Another first down to the 33. The clock stops with 1:34 to go.
This is a work in progress for Matt Hasselbeck and some of these receivers with some of the changes they've made in Seattle. A 2-minute drive will test those changes in terms of the ability to communicate with one another in a critical situation.
Blitz coming. And Hasselbeck steps into the throw. The catch is made by Dion Butler, his 2nd career reception. And another Seattle first down, a gain of 15. 1:20 to go.
Matt Hasselbeck's loving this. This is right in his wheelhouse. Taking control of the offense, getting the calls out. Quick little sugar huddle to get a good solid call back at the line of scrimmage.
Going to hand it off on first down. Forsett tiptoes his way inside the 10 and then bulls his way inside the 5. 14-yard rush for Dorsett, and timeout is called by Seattle.
Well, this is the kind of call you can make when you're sitting with two timeouts in your pocket in a 2-minute situation. Anytime you can slip a run in here, just a simple strong side zone run, San Francisco's got to be thinking pass, in that obviously in a 2-minute drill you can gash them with the run like this. Now you're sitting here under a minute.
All right, 1 timeout left now for Seattle.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to run and play here. You don't need to use that timeout. You got time to re-huddle or make another second quick call.
Pump fake, slant, and broken up. No penalty flag. That's outstanding coverage by Nate Clements in his 9th year out of Ohio State.
Anytime you're inside the 5-yard line, it's a compressed area. You want to leave yourself all the options, and because they have that timeout, they don't have to throw the ball here. Doesn't mean they won't, but they got more than enough time to slip in a run if the secondary looks too passive, if the defensive run, if they're stretched out. Right now they're just four across zone here.
Hasselbeck rolling, you'll keep it. And he is denied the end zone down to the 1. The clock continues to run to 42, 41. And this is 3rd down, remember.
Matt Hasselbeck, he's something's up. He took a shot in the back. They need to call a timeout here. He took a shot. I don't know whether he got hit in the head and is woozy, or he took a shot to that back that kept him out of most of last year, but he is not good. Patrick Willis taking a good shot at Matt Hasselbeck. Not an illegal shot. He's going down. The timing of that, I don't think there's anything wrong with the shot. I don't know that he was giving himself up, but Patrick Willis clearly getting a shot on that back. Matt Hasselbeck telling us he was fine. The back is a non-issue, but with a shot like that, hopefully it's just a sore back and not a re-aggravation of the injury that kept him out last year.
Well, you can see, I mean, the pain literally brought him to his knees over near the sideline. Hasselbeck began the year naturally as a starter last season. Got hurt, missed 5 weeks, tried to come back again, and then after 2 more games, they shut him down.
Well, you hope, and it's no time to speculate, but the minute he got hit, he knew right now this does not feel right. You hope it's not related to the other injury. He knew right now you got to come in. You hope maybe it's a bruised rib, maybe a shot to the kidney, and just the sheer pain of it. You just hope it's not related to the injury that knocked him out last year.
He is such an engaging young man, quick with a smile, good sense of humor. You can tell he just had a wonderful upbringing. His family in Massachusetts, of course, his father played many years in the NFL.
Yeah, came out of Colorado Buffaloes, was a good tight end in the league a long time. And you could tell Matt Hasselbeck was excited about being back and healthy. It's one thing to be excited and be back, but to be healthy, and he really felt like he was healthy. Again, we're going to take another shot of this, or a look at this. It's going down. Didn't lead with the head. Patrick Willis just making sure he doesn't get into the end zone. And you can tell, not unlike a Donovan McNabb that we saw last week, knew immediately on the hit. Trainer taking care of him, trying to talk him through it. Right now you got to find out what is it that you're feeling.
It's good to see he's up walking around.
Absolutely.
Now what that means for the remainder of the day, we'll know soon enough. What we know right now is it's 3rd and goal, and Seneca Wallace, who played very well last season in Hasselbeck's absence, takes over. 26 seconds until halftime, 3rd and goal. Wide open in the flat, Julius Jones, touchdown. So Wallace on the very first play taking over for Hasselbeck hits a wide open Jones for a 1-yard touchdown.
Yeah, you're conflicted right now if you're Jim Mora, because your team has responded beautifully, but your starting quarterback just walked off into the locker room early.
Point after good by Mare to make it a 13-10 game. All right, Brian, go back to your coaching days now. If you're Jim Mora, Greg Knapp, the offensive coordinator, you know the situation that's in front of you. You don't know all the details. They're going to tell you when you get into the locker room. Is that how it works? You walk in and then you wait to hear from the medical people, or
Absolutely.
are you going in to find them as soon as you walk in the door?
No, you got other concerns right now. I don't want to sound heartless here, but your concern is, okay, what? I have a very short time in the locker room. What do I got to do to get ready to come back out? They'll come tell me what Matt Hasselbeck's situation is. My quarterback right now is Seneca Wallace. What do we do? And keep in mind, this has been all San Francisco, right? This is a 3-point game. Seattle's got to feel like, you know what, guys, we've weathered the storm. All the things that we've had an 80-yard run against us, they've out-quicked us, they've out-physicaled us, and it's a 3-point game. This game can be ours.
First road game in week 2 for Jim Mora as head coach of the Seahawks. Of course, he spent many years right here in the Bay Area, did Mora, on the San Francisco staff from '97 until 2003. His last 4 years as a 49ers defensive coordinator. Rossum from 5 yards in his own end zone. And is tackled at the 17. Hand off to Glenn Coffey will be the final play, it appears, of the opening half. Good ball game, an important ball game. Frank Gore on first down, open field. Across the 40 to midfield. Is this another big one? A career-long 80-yard touchdown. One more yard than his prior career high set earlier today. That's a way to start a second half.
Well, like I said, you can either throw the ball down the field or give it to Frank Gore and let him crank off another 80-yarder.
Point after is good. We are 11 seconds into the third quarter. Second career 200-yard rushing game for Frank Gore. He has 206, his other 200-yard game against Seattle. Back in November of '06, his career high set in that game 5 yards more, 6 more than he has right now. Forsett from the 3. And is out to the 20. Seneca Wallace replacing the injured Matt Hasselbeck. Played in 10 games, got 8 starts last season. Threw for 11 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions. He'll hand it off to Julius Jones on first down. He loses a yard. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, just like the last one. I mean, you've got 9 guys. Here's 8. There's a 9th standing right here. They're there for one reason, and that's to stop the run. And just like the last one, you know, what, 8's not enough, 9's not enough, because he cranks off another 80-yarder. That's got to be hugely demoralizing to come out of the locker room. It's a 3-point game. Guys, we got it right where we want it. Boom, you're down. 80-yard touchdown, 2-score game again.
Carlson chopped down at the 24-yard line. Boy, injury's a huge factor for Seattle. They were before the game ever started. They were going to be without 3 defensive starters. And look at the guys banged up. Tutupu started the game, left in the first quarter. Locklear is out at left tackle, and now the quarterback.
Yeah, but right now Jim Moore is thinking, who do I got left, and what are we going to do with it?
Did he catch the ball? No. Burleson got his hands on it. But a tough catch to make. And it's 3 and out for Seneca Wallace and the Seahawks.
You couldn't script it better for San Francisco than this. 80-yard run, 3 and out. I can see them coming back now and really trying to pound the ball against Seattle to emotionally put them out of this game.
Ron Ryan. Boy, he's had a good day punting the ball today. Chasing Rossum all the way back to the 12. Still on his feet. But has the second most rushing yards, second only to LaDainian Tomlinson among all backs in the NFL. First down catch made out to the 31-yard line by Isaac Bruce.
And the amazing thing about those numbers, Tom, that Frank Gore, because the teams he's been on have not been very good and had to come from behind a lot, he only has one 300-plus carry season so far as a pro, and that was in 2006. So that makes that number even more amazing, that 4,000-plus yards, because it's not like he's been a 300, 350 carry back every year.
Being a 5 on a catch by Bruce. Second down, they'll throw it again. And thrown behind Bruce. Third down. I think a lot of 49er fans had to be skeptical after rushing as a team for 21 yards last week when all was said and done, and getting a win. When Mike Singletary kept saying over and over, we're going to run the football. We just have to execute better. Clearly, they've executed better.
They're in a wildcat here. You got Sean Hill out and flexed out in the receiver position. The obligatory wildcat snap.
And the ball is fumbled and then recovered by Michael Spurlock. Boy, now there's one you really got to wonder. Don't you, Coach? I mean, the way you're going, you got momentum on your side, and now all of a sudden that.
You tune into my 1 o'clock p.m. Tuesday. Lunch with Benefits coach speak, and you'll find out about my thought of the wildcat. It doesn't work against good defenses, and whether Seattle's good, it just doesn't work. You know, everybody seems obliged to run it, but that tends to be the result for my money.
Forsett waiting on a punt by Andy Lee, and lots of room in front of him. Brings it out to the 31. 20-10. 49ers lead. A little more than 3 minutes into the second half. Seneca Wallace hands it off to Edgerrin James, and he picks up 2. A very special weekend here in San Francisco. Last night they inducted Eddie DeBartolo into the 49ers, the recently created 49ers Hall of Fame. And on the field today, Mr. DeBartolo, who no longer owns a franchise, had his name along the greats, and so many of the former greats, as that's a first down catch made by Carlson out to the 42-yard line. Of course, Eddie DeBartolo ran into a lot of legal problems, had to give up his ownership of the franchise to his sister and her husband, Dr. York.
Empty in the backfield here. Nope, tackle moving. Really changing up the formations now, trying to find something to probe that 49er defense with.
Ball start. Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Really, $25,000. So 12-5 a year.
Yeah.
Wow. Great story. Justin Griffith shot down by Nate Clements. But Clements has always had a nose for the ball. Resilient, physical, a durable player. Has only missed 5 starts in his career.
Well, now the 49er defense has got to adjust here a little bit. They've prepared all week for Mac Hasselbeck. The athleticism of quarterback Seneca Wallace presents a different challenge for them. They're having to do some adjustments.
Set up the screen before set, read beautifully, and then a broken tackle. And that is going to be a first down. Should have been tackled for about a 5-yard gain, and he ran right through the duo of Justin Smith and Ray McDonald.
I was about to say that the 49ers have handled the screens very, very well. They diagnosed this. They got guys coming in, but you're right. They got it surrounded, but very poor tackling. First time all day we've made that observation.
The gain of 20. Pump fake. Looking for Houshmandzadeh. Boy, that looked like a catchable ball down there. Don't know if Houshmandzadeh got bumped, but that looked like if he lays out, that's got a chance to be a catch.
Well, this comes back to the now how much time during the course of the week or the last couple of weeks as Seneca Wallace, TJ Houshmandzadeh down here, little double move. Probably needed a little bit more air on it, a flat trajectory, just a little bit more air, giving TJ Houshmandzadeh a chance to get underneath it.
Bad snap. And Wallace overruns the ball. And then Julius Jones able to cover it up all the way back at the 37-yard line.
Well, that's one of those, I don't know what you tell the center, Bud. That was a tad high. And at this point, dilemma for the quarterback. This thing goes sailing over the head. Do you fall on it, minimize it, or try to pick it up? And with the athleticism of Seneca Wallace, I'll pick it up, I'll run around and make a big play. They dodged a bit of a bullet there coming up with the ball.
It's an 18-yard loss. It's 3rd and 28.
Probably a draw.
You got it. Forsett again breaking tackles. But is dragged down at the 44-yard line. And after the poor snap along with a penalty, the Seahawks will punt.
Yeah, and the Seahawks fans at home, I know, are throwing stuff at their TV going, you know, 3rd and 18. You really think a draw is going to get a first down? But give the defense credit. They also know it's 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 28 or whatever it is. You don't want to force the ball. At that point, you're telling your quarterback, go convert on the first down, throw it into the teeth of the coverage. You know, sometimes discretion is the better part of valor.
John Ryan punting to Alan Fossum. What a day it has been. That is picked up. Or was it touched? It looked like it was touched down at the goal line by a Seattle Seahawk. Dion Butler appeared to touch the ball. And that is indeed the case. This ball will be down at the 1-foot line. So first down for the 49ers inside their own 1-yard line. Moran Norris, the first back through, and he picks up a yard.
Well, again, this is great play by Dion Butler, a rookie out of Penn State. Good coaching this young man up. You have to have possession and then clearly down the ball. He does both. Had he not downed it and his momentum would have taken him into the end zone, the ball would have come out to the 20. That's just a brilliant play. Obviously clear cut, but coached that way. Great job by Bruce DeHaven on the Seattle Seahawks sideline.
Give Joe Paterno a little love in that too.
Okay, he probably learned that in college too.
Looked like Vernon Davis started too soon.
False start, number 85, offense. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
Gore just did get back to the line of scrimmage. Red Bryant there to meet him.
2 very conservative calls. Up the gut by the fullback, then just an eye handoff to Frank Gore. Looked limping just a bit. I think he's okay, just needs a blow. I always loved Bobby Bowden's philosophy back here on the 1-yard line. He used to call that his don't get nervous, somebody's about to score offense. And he'd raise back and throw that thing down the field. Now at 3rd and 10 on your own 1-yard line, do you drop back, run the risk of a safety, or do you just shove it up the gut and punt off your end line again? Interesting call. We'll see. Maybe a play action fake, quick flat to the fullback.
Yep, to the fullback. And he breaks a tackle. Very close to a first down. He ran right through the rookie Aaron Curry. And that is a first down, a gain of 11.
Nice safe call. You give the play fake, take a peek down the field. Maybe they give it to you, and then get it into the fullback. Rarely does something like this convert the entire yardage, but in this case, just a good physical run by the fullback. First down. Nice play call, nice execution.
Not a lot of breathing room, but certainly a little bit. Field to throw on first down, and he's going to run it. They've got a lot of breathing room now. All the way out to the 30-yard line. A gain of 18 for Shaun Hill.
Nice play by Shaun Hill, knowing he was seeing man defense. Got outside the pocket of the protection, and the one guy on the field not accounted for in man defense, the quarterback. So a nice gain by the 49ers. Backed up on their 1-yard line. Now they're 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line. This is a nice start. That was a long-looking field a couple plays ago. That field's looking shorter and shorter with every play.
Coffey met at the line of scrimmage on a first down carry, no gain. 2nd down and 10. Go to throw it on 2nd down. The ball stripped. It's still loose. Still live. And it looks like Joe Staley, the left tackle, covered up the football. So here comes a wildcat again. It's Michael Spurlock on 3rd and 22. And they're going to have him throw the ball. Looking down the field. And overthrows Davis. And again, I go back to asking the simple question, Brian Billick. Why? Why? If you're going to throw the ball, why not have your quarterback throw the ball?
Well, and I don't know. If it's 3rd and 2, maybe obviously the run fake they come, but on 3rd and 20. I mean, are you really going to come running up on the run fake? And that's one of those that you either lose the D&D or it just happened to be the next play on your call sheet.
Well, one thing's for sure, they have not been as predictable this week as they were last week.
No, you got to give them that.
Nate Burleson. And he is chopped down close to midfield.
Mike Singletary is all about passion, accountability. He's coaching up the young Spurlock here. I don't know whether he's telling him not throw it, whatever. In my opinion, he needs to get on the headset and say, hey, Jimmy Ray, what the heck are we doing running the Wildcat on 3rd and 20? Jimmy Ray was my first coach in the league. I was a tight end with the San Francisco 49ers. And I love Jimmy, but I'm not so sure I'm going after Spurlock on that. I'm going to get on the headset and have a word with my offensive coordinator.
All right, here comes Seneca Wallace. Excellent field position, starting this drive down by 10 in the 3rd quarter. And Wallace rolls and throws. And coming in to break it up is Clements, and he will be whistled for an infraction. Well, it looked like pretty good timing on that collision between Clements and T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Yeah, he was going to have to time that up exactly. In the opinion of the official, we'll see here.
Interference. Number 22 defense. First down, spot of a foul.
This takes precise timing. Did he get there just as the ball did or early? Oh boy, that's a judgment call. You could slow that down frame by frame by frame and not be right about that one.
Holding. Number 60 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
That's the rookie Max Unger out of Oregon. Is going to end up being the center on this football team. He's starting at guard. They wanted a little more experience in at the center position. And the fact that his size allows him to play guard, but got called for the hold there. This is a good young football player. I think he's got a chance to be one of the better centers in this league once he finds himself in his more natural position.
2nd down and 20. Pump fake. Burleson over the middle, and it's intercepted by Deshaun Goldson. Are they saying he was down? They're saying he was down at the 11-yard line. But that's one of the reasons Goldson won the job in training camp. They're looking for more big plays out of that free safety spot, and that's a big play. Gore plows ahead for a yard, maybe two.
You know, I keep coming back to Shaun Hill and 47 yards passing on the day. They're running the ball very, very well, but right here, this is you're going to have to take a shot at some point. We talked about Vernon Davis. Went to him early in the game, has not since. Now this covers up a whole lot of things in your game when you're running for 200+ yards by Frank Gore. But Shaun Hill's going to have to make a play down the field at some point.
Coffee out of the backfield is wrapped up by Curry. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for San Francisco. The final seconds of the 3rd quarter. That will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So the San Francisco 49ers, who went on the road last week and shocked the NFL by knocking off the defending NFC champion Arizona Cardinals. Here we go. We begin the 4th quarter at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The 49ers in front of the Seahawks 20-10. 3rd down and 5. Hill out of the shotgun to throw. Safe throw. 1st down. Is it? Depends on the spot. Needed to get just beyond the 22, and it is good enough for a 1st down.
And this is what they need out of Shaun Hill. If you're going to play this, play good defense, run the ball, and they've done both today, then your quarterback at the least has to convert on these 3rd mediums, and that's exactly what Shaun Hill did. So even though he doesn't have a lot of yards, and I keep talking about it, putting it more down the field, so far he's showing the ability to manage a good defensive run game oriented type of offense.
Ball was tipped, and then Davis couldn't hang on after the tip by Lawrence Jackson. Jackson's had a nice game today for this Seattle defense.
Got the strip earlier with Shaun Hill, and the tip here. Again, I talk about the trajectory of Shaun Hill. His low ball coming out at that 3-quarter delivery. We've seen 2 balls batted down now because of that trajectory.
Jackson today with 2 sacks, the forced fumble, and now the tip pass. Ford back into the game for the 49ers. And he'll get the ball and know where to go. Third down, wide open is Isaac Bruce. And again, this is going to depend on the spot. He needed to get to the 33-yard line. He went diving to the 1st down marker and got there. 1st down. The Reverend, they call him. He'd like to become one after his playing days are over. And what an unbelievable career it has been for Isaac Bruce. The yards second all-time only to Jerry Rice.
You know, because the production's fallen off just a little in the last couple of years, you tend to forget just how great a player, and particularly over the stretch of time, that Isaac Bruce is.
Hill looks one way and fires again to Isaac Bruce. Going to throw it again. And this is Gore. That's his first catch today, and that gives him a reception in 48 consecutive games. A pickup of 7.
I give offensive coordinator Jimmy Ray for recognizing that that's what he's seeing I think Sean Hill here, he's doing a nice, efficient job. I think he had Arnaz battle down the field a little bit. And at some point, he's going to start making those throws. Had him in behind the flat route that we saw earlier. But right now, he's moving the chains. He's managing the game. He understands that's what his responsibility is in this offense.
Gore close to another first down. Needed to get right on the 45. And that appears to be where the ball will be spotted. It's right there on the line. First down. I tell you can't help but be very impressed again. Even more so from this 49er team after the win last week, which, I mean, was ugly. Mike Singletary said, I thought it was a thing of beauty. We won the game is all that matters to me.
Well, you can call it ugly during the week when you go back and look at the film, but you're going to love the win.
Gore close to another first down. Needed to get right on the 45. And that appears to be where the ball will be spotted. It's right there on the line. First down. I tell you can't help but be very impressed again. Even more so from this 49er team after the win last week, which, I mean, was ugly. Mike Singletary said, I thought it was a thing of beauty. We won the game is all that matters to me.
Well, you can call it ugly during the week when you go back and look at the film, but you're going to love the win. Again, this is typically a place you might go vertical with it, but I still think the 49ers are going to pound away here to set the tone for this fourth quarter.
Hill crossing pattern to Norris, and he's down to the 39-yard line. That's a gain of 6.
We started this show, Tom, talking about how big a game this was and how both teams knew the importance of it. To be 2-0 in the division, in a division that typically struggles outside of the division, as you know, only week 2, but to be 2-0, they both understand it, and 49ers are feeling it right now.
Second down and 4. They'll give it to Gore, and he'll be 3 yards short. I beg your pardon. That's Glenn Coffey getting the football. So we're closing in on the 10-minute mark to play in San Francisco. And the Niners trying to go to 2-0 on the year. But as importantly, 2-0 inside the NFC West.
Which, and I don't have the numbers, but what a 2-0 to start the season, and 2-0, as you say, in the NFC West, it carries a heavier benefit because, quite frankly, this is not a great division.
That's a 33-yard swing. They had a gain of 23. Take that away. Make it a 10-yard penalty. 3rd and 12. Hill steps up, throws, caught by Gore. And he's short of a first down, but they might get the first down on a face mask.
Yeah, it looked like you could see that head bob as he came around the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, number 31 defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Officials giveth, and the officials taketh away. Clearly not intentional, just clearly got his hands right on the face mask. Anytime you see the helmet jerk like that, you're going to get that call. Good call by the official.
Yeah, they just called it on the wrong guy. That was on Curry, who actually grabbed the face mask, not Ken Lucas. Or maybe both of them. Well, the 49ers in business now. Clock running down to the 9-minute mark. They have a 10-point lead and trying to add to it. Gore checks back in the backfield.
Field goal is huge. 2 touchdown lead if they can get a field goal. I don't imagine they're going to be too creative.
Arnaz Battle, the former quarterback of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, has turned himself into an all-around threat as a receiver and return man.
And what I'm talking about is you always have to be aware of the point differential. It's a 2-score game right now. Now, yeah, you want a touchdown, and you're going to do a lot of things to get it, but you're going to be very conscious of the 3 points because you get a 13-point spread right now. and that's a 2-touchdown game with this amount of time on the clock. That's a totally different scenario than just a 2-score game when you're up by 10.
Pitch it to Gore. Flags come in as he's tackled at the 20.
Holding, number 77, offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's Tony Pashos. They were talking about him getting more playing time after the game last week. A disappointing season opener for the right tackle Adam Snyder. Of course, after that game, Mike Singletary said, my offensive line got their tails whipped by Arizona. Well, they've responded today. Look at the rushing numbers.
Yeah, and you, as a lineman, you love those numbers. This kills you as a coach now. You're in field goal position. You're calling the game accordingly. Now you're outside of the 30. It's clearly not out of Joe Nedney's range, but you put yourself in a longer down and distance. At 2nd and 20, the priority is get back into field goal range.
Gore down to the 21. So that certainly puts him back in more comfortable field goal range. Right now you'd be looking roughly at a 38-yarder. They have third down still left in this drive.
They do, and I think you'll see one of a couple things. They're either going to run the draw, safe, take the 2-point or the 2-touchdown differential I've been talking about, or you go ahead and throw the ball. He'll take a peek down the field. Chances are he's going to drop it off in a safe throw, get all that he can. Maybe it converts, maybe it doesn't.
Or maybe you just run the wildcat.
Yeah, right. No, it's too short a down and distance. Wait for 3rd and 20 to do that.
Now you saw Gore limp off the field. And timeout called.
Last week, San Francisco, to win the game, had to go 80 yards in 15 plays. Now here, 14 plays, 72 yards, doing the same thing.
They've had the ball this entire quarter.
Little stab to the fullback, fake to the fullback, and see where you come out with it.
Good protection. Hill steps up looking to the end zone and slightly overthrows Vernon Davis. So field goal unit time for the 49ers. This drive began with 1:23 left in the 3rd quarter.
Just sucks the heart out of the team when you're on the road, as Seattle is, knowing that the clock is running down, play after play, a long drive like that. You haven't seen the ball in the 4th quarter yet. And again, Nedney can hit this 2-touchdown game, just under 7 minutes. Tall order for Seneca Wallace and the Seattle Seahawks.
39-yard field goal try for Nedney. Right down the middle. Bring up to speed our game summary. Matt Hasselbeck had to leave the game in the final seconds of the opening half. Took a shot to the ribs, trying to run one into the end zone. Sean Hill manageable again. A huge day for Gore, who is 5 yards shy of setting his career high of 212 rushing yards in a game that came against Seattle 3 years ago. Less than 7 minutes to play. Dion Butler will run it out. Not a wise decision.
Every time he rolls over at night and feels those ribs.
Seneca Wallace on first down, complete to Jones, and he's upended by Nate Clements. Clements has been all over the field for the Niner defense.
That's the kind of plays they're looking for.
Over the middle.
Yeah, people rally into the ball. Mike Singletary is loving this. Here you got a corner coming up. Good physical, sound tackle, physicality. Come back with the next play. Linebackers conversion. This is exactly what Mike Singletary has been fostering from the first day of training camp.
3rd down. Incomplete. And again, Clements right there on the coverage. It's the 5th time today the Seahawks have gone 3 and out. Rossum looking for a block. Cuts it back to the inside, and he is tackled at the 27. You know, so many love playing fantasy football out there, and it's all about passing yards and touchdowns for quarterbacks. Talk to any head coach, and they'll tell you they want to talk about who wins games. And you go back over the last 2 full seasons and 1 week of this season, everybody else not named Sean Hill that started at quarterback for the 49ers is 5-17. If Hill wins the game today, he goes to 9-3 as a starter. Just win games.
And that's what drew Mike Singletary, I think, to Sean Hill at the end of last year. He had that sense that, yeah, the numbers aren't flashy, but that's what this guy did. And the players buy it as well. And this is the kind of game that Mike Singletary wants to play. And, you know, we talk about the kindred spirit of John Fox and Jake Delhomme.
In many circles anymore, going out and earning a job. And part of that, of course, the famous hill which you were standing on by the Niners practice facility a couple of days ago. You look like the zookeeper trying to round up the elephants.
Sure, yeah. Where did the elephants get out of the San Francisco Zoo? You don't like my shirt, huh?
I love your shirt. I think you look great. That looks really good on you. I don't know about most guys.
My wife picked that shirt up.
He's got good taste. A shovel pass to Robinson out to the 31 on 3rd down, so they'll be content to punt this thing away with a clock at 5:24. And Seattle spends its final timeout. All right, let's go to the other side. We'll do so here in just a moment and talk about Seattle. After winning convincingly against a down St. Louis team in the opening week. But appears to be, although 5:24 left.
We'll all be watching.
Burleson from the 18. Still on his feet and returns it to the 30. Forsett will race for the sideline, stopping the clock. 5:04.
Well, right now for Seattle, you never give up the ship. You got a 2-touchdown game, but as equally important for Jim Mora is how does my team finish off under dire circumstances. It is only the 2nd game of the season. We got a long way to go. He wants to see how his guys compete to the end, win or lose.
That's Harrelson jumping the gun. And that'll give him a 1st down.
Offside, number 98 defense. Unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Now on the flip side of that, you got Mike Singletary. They're in control of the game, but he wants to see how his team's finish. Can we put a team away with a 2-score lead, or are we going to let them march down and not tackle and run to the ball the way we've been doing it? He's all about how his team finishes as well. And this game is long from over.
Fumbled snap, and Wallace able to cover it up. But the loss sends him back to the 33-yard line. Where Steve Vallos is replacing Chris Spencer. Spencer did practice this week along with Walter Jones. They hope to have both those guys back very soon, if not by next week. Now Spencer injured a quadriceps muscle in the preseason. And you know about Walter Jones. He had the major surgery last year at the end of the year, and then had a less severe surgery to the same knee. And they're hoping he's back next week. One of the greats.
And I'm not making excuses for Seattle, but they got a lot of frontline people standing on the sideline, both offensively and defensively, that they're having to deal with right now.
3rd down, Wallace is caught by Manny Lawson.
Long arm of the Lawson. That's one of the things that Manny lost when you see him play. Good athlete. I'm not sure Seneca Wallace doesn't have that edge, but those long arms, look at those long arms, reach out, gets a hold of him. Manny Lawson finding new life for himself in the style of play that the defense is playing. Much more narrow in his focus and what they're asking him to do.
Of course, he lost nearly a full year in '07 due to injury. 4th down. And Wallace throws to Houshmandzadeh, who makes a first down reception. Down to the 40-yard line. Still 3:28 to go. And the Seahawks down by a touchdown and a field goal. Or I beg your pardon, 2 touchdowns basically.
And Greg Knapp now in this situation, you know, he's adjusted to Seneca Wallace. Right now he's just calling the game plan. It's not Seneca Wallace's game plan. It's not Matt Hasselbeck's game plan. You don't have that kind of luxury at 3:28 down 2 touchdowns. He's just calling his offense as he sees fit.
Carlson sprints for the sideline, steps out of bounds.
Now, the Seattle Seahawks, we had a couple of their games last year, Tom, particularly late in the season. They have faith in Seneca Wallace. They've been here before. Matt Hasselbeck, bruised ribs, hopefully it's a short term. But if they've got to go a length of time with Seneca Wallace, Jim Mora was around, Mike Holmgren's had great faith in Seneca Wallace. That organization believes in Seneca Wallace. So they're comfortable with their quarterback situation. They clearly want Hasselbeck back, but they're not panicked right now about their quarterback situation.
Screen to Forsett. And able to step out of bounds at the 25-yard line, stopping the clock with 3:15 to play. That's a first down, a gain of 10. You see Singletary willing his defense to come up with a stop.
And this is the type of game now when you're going to play good defense, run the ball. He knows his team's going to be in a lot of tight games going down the rest of the way. They're going to have to finish games just like that. And they're by no stretch of the imagination out of the woods yet if Seattle can pull out a score here in the next minute or so.
Pump fake one way. Caught by Burleson the other way. And a good open field tackle by Mark Roman, who's in the game as a 6th defensive back.
Seattle under a bit of a time clock here. They'd like to get this score in under the or on top of the 2-minute warning to give themselves time to make choices as to what they want to do should they score.
Boy, and they run the ball.
Oh boy. Not that that's a bad call, and I think they're going to get the first down, which is great, but the timing of it and the time you have left.
Wallace steps up, throws to the end zone, incomplete. Houshmandzadeh thought he was open.
You're basically resigned to 2 passes. Now on a 3rd down, you can look into the end zone. I would imagine San Francisco is going to be in a 4 across zone. Keep everything in front of you. Just keep it out of the end zone. Let them have the pass underneath if that's where he wants to go and rally to the tackle.
Wallace on 3rd down, rolling. And he had an open receiver in the back of the end zone. John Carlson, 4th down upcoming.
It's pretty much over. Right tackle moved. Right tackle or right guard.
False start. Number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Fans in that south end zone making it awful tough for Seattle right now. Yep, 74, Ray Willis, not able to hear the snap count. At this point, you got to look in and just watch the ball being snapped. But you got a wide rusher coming off that edge. You don't want to take your eyes off him.
Well, they converted on a 4th and 13 earlier. And now it's 4th and 15. They need to get to the 3 for a first down. Incomplete. And again, Clements there to break it up. What a game Nate Clements has had here today.
Well, this whole defense. You got Mike Singletary, obviously a defensive background, his defensive coordinator, Greg Minuski, two linebackers with a linebacker's mentality. This is a long down and distance, try to slip this in. The veteran experience of Clements pushes the post route off to the safety, comes up, knows exactly where the ball's going, battles for it. Good, smart defense by the San Francisco 49ers.
You know, it's only 2 games, but you certainly like looking inside some of the numbers. And what a 2-0 start can mean to a team with playoff aspirations as opposed to starting a year 1-1. Now, I get it. It's only 2 games, but the numbers don't lie. Since 1990, 65% of the teams that start 2-0 reach the playoff. From going to 2-0. And that would mean the Niners, under their head coach Mike Singletary, will have won 6 of their last 7 and 7 of their last 9.
Well, Mike Singletary, Hall of Fame linebacker, his defensive coordinator, Greg Minuski, great defensive. You got 2 linebacker coaches, or 2 former linebackers. This is a linebacker's mentality defense, and they're playing just that way.
You know, to finish the thought about starting 2-0, it should be noted there were 5 teams in the NFL last year that started 2-0 that failed to make the playoffs. Buffalo, Dallas, Denver, New England, and Green Bay.
And the way you present that, Tom, to your team, because it depends on which side of the equation you are, but you're 2-0, and yeah, there are exceptions. You don't want them to start thinking, okay, well, we're in. But you do want them to start thinking about, consider the possibilities. Consider what that means, and if we follow up, it's certainly better than the other 2 alternatives, 1-1, 0-2. And so you don't want to hide it. You don't want to think you've arrived. But by the same token, embrace the idea that it presents some opportunities. Jim Moore had a saying yesterday that I had not heard before. I liked it. He said, opportunity multiplies as you seize them. Well, the 49ers have an opportunity that can multiply if they seize this 2-0 start.
Gore rolled over an ankle on his final carry of the afternoon. That's why they've kept him on the sideline. They don't want that to get any worse. Well, you look for the 49ers next week. That's a tough one, going to Minnesota. But then back in the division against St. Louis, 0-2 to begin the year. You have Atlanta at home, and then go to Houston and Indianapolis. It's funny how Brian is a head coach, and I don't know if you ever feel like this as a head coach. But, you know, oftentimes it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. When this year began, a lot of fans, they'd start flipping through that schedule and they'd go, well, we're playing the 49ers. Should get a win there. You know, now all of a sudden the 49ers are saying that about some other people.
Absolutely right. And you say you don't do it, but you do here. Seattle, same thing coming up. They got Indianapolis. Okay, they got an easier stretch as it looks right now. Now this is changing, you know, by the week. But that other part that you saw, Minnesota and Indianapolis and the other, they're going to get that on the back end. So like we said, this NFC West having to play the AFC South and the NFC North, there are a lot of games to play in some tough divisions. The divisional win, as we said, here by San Francisco, huge with the 2-0 divisional start.
Wallace throws, and the catch is made, and that'll be the final play of the game unless they can hurry up. Down to the final 10 seconds here in San Francisco, and the 49ers will start this 2009 season a perfect 2-0. Burleson makes a catch. Our associate director Neil Gallo, our broadcast associate Bill Cullen.